Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, the big game in the Europa League first leg of the semi-finals. Who would get the job done? The attacking Arsenal side or Simeone's defensive, resilient Atletico side? Something's got to give at the Emirates. Who would win? How would they do it? Here at the interviews, we've got you covered. So on this edition of the interviews, I'm going to briefly break down Atletico Madrid against Arsenal. So Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, first leg of the Europa League semi-final, the big clash of the round. Who would be the favorites to go to the final? Would it be decided at the Emirates? We look at the board, we got Arsenal in the red, we got Atletico in the blue. Arsenal more of a 4-2-3-1. We know on paper it's supposed to be a 4-3-2-1. We look at the board, it's Lacazette up front, just behind him, Ramsey bombing forward. In narrow positions, we had Welbeck, Ozil in midfield, Wilshere and Xhaka. However, for Atletico, 4-4-2 as we expected. Griezmann and Gamero up front, Koke and Carrera on the flanks. In the midfield, you had Saul and you had Thomas. What went right? What went wrong? Well, Atletico started the game poorly. Not just the fact that they had Vrsljko sent off for 2 yellow cards in the opening 10 minutes, but just the fact that they were conceding possession in midfield and they were getting beat down the flanks. You look at the chance that Arsenal created at the start of the game, you have to feel that they were just players, mostly their fullbacks, out of position, and it was in transition and they were getting killed down that flank. We saw Welbeck earlier on, they lost the ball, they saw him charge into that space. You saw an Ozil run, drag a defender out of position, and what had happened was that when the cross was sent in, Lacazette was able to drop into that space. You had Hernandez trying to get back, cross into the box. You saw Lacazette fire his effort just inches wide of the net. You go back to another play where it's this time, I think Thomas again losing the ball, and this time it's Welbeck from deeper, delivers a cross into the box, Lacazette fires it, nods his effort off the head. We saw a lot of those chances where they were just getting him behind the fullbacks, and because Atletico were losing the ball higher up the pitch, they were able to slot into these zones there and really get on it. But with Arsenal's issue was the fact that they still kind of lack a genuine passer outside of Mesut Ozil from deeper positions. So when Atletico were dropping deeper, you look at it, their shape wasn't even that great at the start of the game. They just couldn't get passes into these areas. We had to see Ozil drop off deeper to pick up the ball, and what happens here is that he's unable to really break the line with his passes there. Ramsey at times was caught up high. We saw Lacazette pushing in, and they really had to work their way forward, and they couldn't really get behind that Atletico defense. Ozil was obviously positive because he was able to combine with certain teammates. The fullbacks were getting forward, and what was happening was that the wide players in Koke and Correa weren't really doing a good job of tracking runs. We saw Bellerin get forward on several occasions and deliver dangerous crosses into the box. Monreal as well. There was one time where we saw a combination between Ozil and then he ends up delivering a cross that deflects off Ramsey, and it's Monreal alone in the box and he fires a shot inches wide of the net. But when you look at it from a whole, once Vrsljko got sent off for his red card, they had Thomas drop into right back. What happened is that Griezmann went into a wider position. We had Correa move to the right. We had Griezmann move to the left. Same issues applying. Just getting fullbacks forward into those positions, not really tracking their runs. We saw one opportunity where, again, they were exposing Thomas. Just a simple 1-2 between Wilshere, that was just a bit higher, and Welbeck, and he's just able to drop in and behind him, free on goal, should score, doesn't. And we saw, again, just Monreal and Bellerin getting forward and really dominating. It became more of a 4-4-1, and as the game wore on, you felt that Arsenal were eventually going to get their goal. However, when you look at things, Atletico got better as the game wore on, playing against 10 men. They did drop a bit deeper. What happened is that now they're more compressed. The midfield bank was closer to the defensive bank, and there was less chances for them to really get forward. And their issue was that they were getting forward and losing the ball in transition, and then space was being exploited on the flanks because they didn't really have pace in those areas to really cover because their fullbacks were so high. So when you look at it, Lacazette, not really renowned for running in behind, was stuck there. Ramsey really couldn't get forward. It involved lots of intricate passes. The passing tempo was very slow throughout, and they couldn't really get things going. Ozil was, instead of being in between the lines, ahead of the midfield bank. Welbeck was sometimes playing in narrow. So although the fullbacks were getting forward, Atletico's defense was okay coping with those issues, and that was a big problem for them. We look at the chances, the best chances that Atletico had, not really much to talk about. You think about a throw-in that was nodded by Saul into the path of Griezmann, that was fired on goal, and their best chances came from Thomas Partey just intercepting passes. There's one time where he stormed past 3 players and then teed up Griezmann. Griezmann forced Ospina into a save. Then you look at another opportunity where he steps forward from right back, wins the ball. What happens is that he finds Gamero just in behind Wilshere, picks up the ball there. You have Correa slid in on the other opposite side. He's able to cut in, but he fires a shot over the net. But besides that, Atletico really struggled in that regard. They were unable to really create many chances as a whole. And in the second half, the same pattern continued, except finally Arsenal scored. And lo and behold, again, it's from them squeezing up front, winning the ball in transition around the Atletico box, and then creating a chance. It's Griezmann who ended up switching to the right that loses the ball. And then what we do see is we see Wilshere and Ramsey combined behind Thomas, cross into the box. Lacazette nods his effort past the keeper. You think Arsenal now, 10 men, Emirates rocking, gonna go on and win the game. Lacazette had another opportunity where he's able to get the ball in half space in the second half, deliver cross into the box that no one attacked. But as the game wore on, Arsenal had more possession, but they weren't really stopping Atletico. They weren't really getting behind Atletico and creating chances or forcing Oblak into terrific saves. And lo and behold, Atletico get one chance and they make them pay, because again, Atletico made several changes throughout the game. You'd see Correa and Griezmann switch flanks. Eventually, Griezmann went up front. They took off Gamero. They took off Gamero, and then they brought on Gabby. Gabby went into midfield. They pushed Saul wide. Then they brought on Savage, put Thomas back in midfield, left Griezmann up front. Still no real counter-attacking threat, but all it took was one simple long ball for Griezmann to break onto. Holes off Koscielny. Koscielny actually clears it into Griezmann. He's able to go in on goal. Shot is saved. Mustafi tries to recover but slips. He often seems to do that when there are dangerous moments. And Griezmann's able to fire his effort off Mustafi and into the net. Yes, Arsenal had one more opportunity, and again it involves Lacazette spinning off, delivering cross into the box, Ramsey breaking in and nodding his effort on goal for Oblak to push aside. But besides that, Atletico looked much better from a defensive aspect when they went down to 10 men. They were able to drop a bit deeper, ensure that space in between the lines were compact. They weren't allowed to get forward, and what was happening was that when they were getting forward, they weren't creating anything, and they were losing the ball in midfield and being overrun in transition. So that helped them out. Obviously, Arsenal had chances. Ozil was dropping deeper and combining with the wide players and creating little combination passes in half spaces, and they were getting forward down the channels. But besides that, they still lack passing from deeper areas to unlock defenses that sit deep in this area. And with Ozil pushing back, you feel like they need another creator. Wilshere isn't that player. Ramsey likes to bomb into the box, and Xhaka plays nice, patient, calm sideways passes, but can't really unlock the defense from deeper areas. Now going to Atletico, they concede an away goal out of nothing, and you have to feel like Atletico are favorites to bog down this game and get something on the counterattack at home. But let me know what you guys think. Meet me in the comments below. Don't forget I upload videos every day, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And that was your daily dose of the interviews.